Could West Ham end the title race tomorrow night once and for all by beating Manchester City? I've got a sneaky feeling we might. I've got a little feeling we might. Before we get into the match preview, just wanted to remind you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already, and drop a like on this video. It'd be much appreciated. In the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be doing a live West Ham quiz on YouTube Live with Mark from the West Ham Way, who I'm sure you know. So yeah, it'll be really good to see who knows the most about West Ham United, and the winner will be getting some Iron Threads vouchers and some other bits and bobs. So yeah, if you want to get involved in that, hit the subscribe button, and yeah, in the next couple of weeks we'll get that done. So looking forward to that. Right, on to the match preview. West Ham versus Man City. Nice easy game for this weekend. Obviously, City, they played in midweek. They played Real Madrid. Nice, easy game for them away at the Bernabeu. Obviously, lost, I think it was 3-0, wasn't it? 3-0 in the end. And yeah, it was some promising signs for West Ham in terms of, and we've seen this all season, that this Man City side can get got at. They are vulnerable. They are vulnerable defensively. They've got a mistake in them, and they've been like that for a couple of seasons now. Obviously, they're still formidable. They're still an amazing side. Still got so much quality in that front line. So many options as well now. I think Semenyo coming in, Gahey coming in, has really improved them as a squad. And they're still very, very clearly at least the second best side in the Premier League. So it's not going to be an easy game. I actually think they were in some ways unlucky against Real Madrid in midweek. I think Madrid deserved to win the game. Madrid, as they always seem to do in the Champions League, just seem to show up even when they've got players out. It seems like the odds are against them. I think a lot of Real Madrid fans even said before the game that they don't think that they've got a chance of winning this, and yet they just, on those special nights at the Bernabeu, they just turn up, and it always seems to be against Man City as well. Obviously, Valverde getting a hat trick, and a really good hat trick, particularly the third goal was really good. So yeah, I think it was just a little bit one of those nights. Now, obviously, City didn't turn up, and I think defensively they caused themselves a lot of problems, and they have done for a while. But I also think the ball just didn't quite fall for them in many ways, and particularly attacking Madrid. It just didn't really quite fall for them in the box, in and around the box. There was opening up a lot of sort of opportunities, sort of half chances. Doku was getting the ball on the wing, beating a few players, and he seemed to take too many touches. There's a lot of nearly moments for City in that game, and they couldn't just get that finishing touch. A few balls sort of flashing across the face of goal, and it just didn't seem to be their night. I think 3-0 was a little bit of a... It sort of flatters Madrid, to be honest with you, that scoreline. I don't think it was a 3-0 game. I think Madrid deserved to win it, but maybe not by 3-0, although they did also miss a penalty, so it could have been even worse. But again, just evidence that Man City can be got at. They are vulnerable defensively, and I think there's some potential for us to hurt them further this weekend. And obviously, I think if we were to win this game, then it would just mean it would probably mean the end of the title race. Arsenal, I think, play slightly earlier. I think they're a 5:30 game against Everton at home. Everton are a little bit of a tricky customer, but you'd fancy Arsenal to get the job done there. And if we were to go beat City, I would say that's the title race done and dusted. Which, depending on where you look at it, who you want to win the league, I'd probably slightly favour Man City to beat Arsenal to the title, but I'm not overly bothered, to be honest with you. I've got too much worrying about West Ham to do. But yeah, I think this could be a pivotal weekend in the Premier League. Now look, obviously, City could turn up and could play us off the park. They could completely play us off the park. They've got the quality to do it. Like I say, they've got so many attacking options. I really like Cherki as a player. Semenyo's come in and done really well. They've got Foden, Doku. Foden again has seemed to gone off the ball a little bit. He had some signs this season that he was going to get back to his best. That doesn't seem to have materialised. And Haaland in recent weeks has been a little bit quiet as well. So, I mean, Haaland always scores against West Ham. I think he scored more against West Ham than any other team. I think that might be right. Excuse me. But, so, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he was on the score sheet again. And this is the perfect game for him to get back into red hot form. I think his first ever game for City in the Premier League was at the London Stadium. I think he scored 2 goals on that day. to open the season, and it's been ominous since then. So yeah, he'll be fancying his chances to get his name on the score sheet. But like I say, I think I've got a sneaky feeling. I think we're just in such good spirits. And going on to talk about West Ham, then I think Monday night was obviously a long night, and we ended up getting over the line against Brentford. And I think for the first hour we played really well. I actually think we played very, very well, given the changes that Nuno made. It was a bit of a gamble. We could have easily not paid off. We could have easily got beat up by Brentford with the team he put out. But there's just this togetherness about the West Ham side at the moment that means we're just a tough nut to crack. And even players that are coming in, the likes of Adama Traore, even Kante in the middle of the park, I thought he had a very good game. So it gives us more options, because if those players can come in and do a job, then it means that we're not too overly reliant, which I think we still are, but we don't want to be too overly reliant on the likes of Somerville and Bowen. Somerville obviously picks up the knock in extra time, which is a real downer on the night, to be honest with you, because I think he is probably the one player we cannot do without for many games. It's a little bit mysterious what's going on with Somerville at the moment in terms of how long he'll be out for. I think he will definitely miss the Man City game. I would be very surprised if he's on the bench. I think he'll miss the Villa game as well. I think he'll come back after the international break. It makes sense. I think if you get to the Villa game and you've got a decision to make where, should we risk him or not? I think you don't risk him. You get that international break, and then he should be fully fit for I think it's Leeds in the FA Cup after that. So, but that's a discussion for another day. But I thought we did very well for 60 minutes against Brentford, and then Brentford came really back into it, and we made some mistakes, and obviously ended up going to extra time, and then penalties, which I wasn't confident at. Not because from a West Ham point of view, but I think Kelleher, the Brentford keeper's got a very good penalty record. So going into that shootout, I just thought, I don't think it's going to win West Ham's way, but our penalties, as it's been said already, but our penalties were just fantastic. And it was a brilliant way to end the night, and it obviously could have been a lot worse. The Somerville injury could have been a lot worse from the sounds of it. So yeah, all in all, really good night, and we obviously got a quarter-final, an FA Cup quarter-final to look forward to. But this game, like I say, I think we'll definitely give Man City a game. I think it's not a foregone conclusion, this one. I don't think Man City will be looking forward to it. And I think if we play the way we have been playing and we show that togetherness again, then I think we could get something from the game. I really do. Maybe that's just me being, optimistic, biased with my West Ham glasses on, but I definitely think that there's something there for us. But I do think it's very important the way we set up. And going on to formation, I think this is going to be really key, because against Fulham, our last league game, which we won, obviously at Craven Cottage, we played with a 4-4-2, and I think we saw a little bit more. I don't think it was a brilliant performance, but I definitely think that helps us going forward. And I think particularly with Somerville out for this game, I do think we need another way to launch a counter, because we know what's going to happen. We know what the game will look like already. Man City will have 70% of possession of the ball. They will pin us in our own half, and it will be up to us whether we can launch counters and get the ball back and hurt them on the break. That will be the key thing. Can we hurt them on the break? We're not going to have lots of possession. We're not going to have loads and loads of chances in this game. It's going to be about how we can launch counter-attacks. And Somerville is our number one player to launch counter-attacks. He's the one with the most explosive pace. He's the one that gets us up the pitch. He can carry the ball. So without him, we need to find a different way to do that. And for that, I think I would stick with the 4-4-2, which I know there's going to be a massive temptation. And I to be honest, I think Nuno will go with a 4-5-1 or a 4-4-1-1, but basically pack the midfield out. And there's always that temptation, isn't there, against Manchester City? Just pack the midfield out, make it difficult for them, show them wide. But I think we need something up top, otherwise it's just going to be a long 90 minutes. So I would go with a 4-4-2. And the fact that Pablo's back, I think it just helps us with that. I think it helps to sort of make that decision, in my mind, for me already. So yeah, the team I would go with, 4-4-2, I'd stick with Hermansen in goal. I think Ariola did well, obviously, the other night. Saves the Panenka, which I think I could have saved. But He saves it, and I think he had a decent game overall. But I think Hermansen definitely the league keeper at the moment. There seems to be confidence growing. Kept a clean sheet against Fulham, although it was a little bit scary at the end when he dropped the ball. So Hermansen in goal. Wan-Bissaka at right back, nothing needed to be said there. He's definitely our best right back, although Kyle Walker-Peters did do a very good job against Brentford as well in the Cup. Mavropanos and Disasi I would go with. I know Todibo come in and did well against Fulham. I just think Mavro scoring that penalty, just keep that going. He seems to have got a partnership with Disasi, and I think the other thing is with Mavropanos, I think he's better in the air than Todibo is. I think if we were playing a team where we would be pushing the defence up higher, then I would go with Todibo because he's quicker, he's more athletic, can sort of make those recovery runs better. But I think for balls in the box, Mavropanos will deal with those better. So I'd go with him and Disasi, who's again had another very good game against Brentford. I'd go with Ollie Scholes at left back. I think Ollie Scholes gives us a little bit more defensive solidity, and you'll see why I'm going with that. Him. I think he also did pretty well against Brentford. I think he got a knock. As far as I understand it, he is fit. I think he's been past fit for this game. So as long as that is the case, I would go with Ollie Scholes at left back. Like I say, I think he had a good 45 minutes against Brentford. I think he did really well against Utara. I think it was out there against him. And I'd go with him. Bowen on the right in this 4-4-2. Souček and Fernandes again in the middle. No real reason to change it. I wouldn't be worried if Potts come in for Souček there, but I'd stick with Souček and Fernandes. And I would go Juve with on the left-hand side of midfield. I just think he offers that pace that we don't have with Somerville out. You've obviously got Adama Traore. I think he picked up a knock in the Brentford game as well. So there's a concern there. I think Juve just provides a little bit more defensive cover than maybe a Traore would. And I think his pace on the break could cause problems. And it allows us to play that real sort of compact Brexit football, if you like, 4-4-2. Be really compact, get men behind the ball. And then with Tati and Pablo up top, I think we can almost have that sort of mid-block where Pablo works hard to get the ball back and then launch counter-attacks. And I think the other thing about Juve is he's got a great engine on him. He can get up and down that pitch all day. So I think he would be definitely an asset on that left-hand side to cause City problems. And yeah, like I say, Tati and Pablo up front, they're not the most technically brilliant strikers in the world, but they'll cause problems. I think the last time we saw it, if I remember rightly, might have been the Chelsea game for the first 45 minutes at Stamford Bridge. And they ran themselves into the ground where I think they both had to get subbed off by 60, 70 minutes. But they were brilliant. For that first 45 minutes, they were absolutely brilliant and caused Chelsea a lot of problems. And Chelsea couldn't pop those balls into the middle of the park, how they like to do into Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. And I think it'll be something similar if we can do that again with Tati and Pablo, restricting the balls into Rodri. I think that will definitely cause City problems. Will sort of disrupt their flow. Won't be able to get the ball, sort of break the lines with those passes from the defence into the midfield. So that's what I would go with. Let me know what you would go with. I think it's an interesting discussion really, because I think, like I say, a lot of people will probably naturally go for the 4-5-1 or at least just get three centre midfielders in there, and I completely understand that. But I think I definitely wouldn't say we've got nothing to lose, because we have got something to lose. It's this game. We can't afford to wave goodbye to any games at the moment. But I think no one's expecting us to win this. Tottenham are away at Anfield, which you hope the right Liverpool turns up and gets the job done there. I think Forest, I think they're at home to Fulham, so that could go either way. But you would expect maybe them to pick up at least a point. They did play in Europe on Thursday, but maybe pick up a point. But I think we go for this game a little bit. City played in Madrid on Wednesday, had a day of travelling, would have come back either early hours of Thursday or they'd have just come back on the Thursday. And I don't think that they'll be ready for us if we play in the manner that I've sort of suggested. So I would go with that. Let me know what your thoughts are. I think injury-wise, I think City have got Vardiol, Kovacic and Lewis still out. We've obviously got Somerville out. Like I say, Scholes and Adama are past fit. So out of the sides available, let's say Somerville is not going to play, which I'm 99% sure he won't. What would you go with? What side would you pick? What formation? And let me know why. And what prediction? What's your prediction? What do you think is going to happen in this game? Do you think, like me, we've got a chance of getting some points? Or do you think Man City will Yeah, as they are the favourites, that they'll turn up and do the job. I'm going to go for a West Ham 2-1 win. I think we score two, not early goals, but we score 2 goals in the first half. Really hit them early, hit them into a little bit of a shell shock. They come back into the game, they dominate the game, and then we are holding on. They get a goal, but we hold on for a 2-1 win. That is my prediction. Let me know what you think. Let me know what team you would select. And yeah, let's try and get 3 points in a massive game against Man City. Come on, you Lions.